Good afternoon. Welcome to the Michael Eure Show. We today are going to start off with a little small interview session with some of our students, some of our outstanding students, as a matter of fact. We're going to start on the end with our student that is getting ready to graduate, Alphonzo Hedgepeth. Tell us a little bit about you and what it is you plan on doing once you finish with Wake Tech.
My name is Alphonzo Hedgepeth. I graduate this semester. I'm in the Associate Arts program. I plan to transfer to North Carolina Central for accounting, and I'm also thinking about double majoring in finance.
Okay. And we're going to come back to you and talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial activities as well. Okay, Eduardo.
My name is Eduardo Peralta-Reyes, and my major is in project management. And I'm not sure where I want to go to after my 2 years here in Wake Tech, but I do want to transfer to a four-year university and see where I go from there.
Right. Gilbert, tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Gilbert Matos. I'm currently a computer science major, and I'm planning to transfer to UNC Asheville once I complete my Associate of Science.
Okay. And all of these students volunteer, and they have participated at programs at the North Carolina Museum of History and other events on campus. But I want to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, and a lot of our students do want to own their own businesses. So Alphonso, tell us, have you started your business, or are you in the process of starting it, and what is it?
I'm still in the process of building it or getting it started. Excuse me. I'm starting a men's neckwear and accessories business. It started with my passion for basically tying together outfit. You know, I worked in the banking industry for a couple years, and that's really where I started to notice that I had a passion for fashion, if you want to say. And then from there, it just grew and grew, and then I played with the thought of it, and I decided that since it's on my mind that much, that I'm going to actually pursue it and try to do something with it.
Sounds good. And certainly use your opportunities at Wake Tech and North Carolina Central to do your marketing.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right. Now, Eduardo, we're going to talk to you a little bit because you changed your major recently this semester to project management.
Yes.
Tell us about your classes, because you do online classes and you do classes seated.
Yeah, I'm doing, I'm doing Introduction to Business online, Finance of Accounting online, and I'm doing, just had a blank moment about my other classes. There's
No intro to project management type yet?
no, not yet, not
Okay.
yet. But I am taking business, Introduction to Business, with Jeff Myers, and two other classes that I'm taking, and so far they're good. They all relate to business. They all pretty much relate to one another. It makes the other classes easier because I kind of review them twice if not in class or if I'm reading them online. But yeah, so far so good.
Okay. Now, Eduardo, you said computer science. Is that something that you want to do at the four-year school?
Yes. So my previous major was actually accounting.
Okay.
My parents have a long history, and my family in general have a long history of accounting, and it was pretty much second nature to me.
Okay.
But my passion is really pretty much with computers and technology itself. So yeah, that's something I plan to continue on in the four-year college.
Okay. So back to you, Alphonso, and
Yes,
all
sir.
of our students work or have worked. So tell us about your work experiences, and did that have anything to do with your deciding you wanted to major in accounting?
At first, I started off going to school for construction management.
Mm-hmm.
I was very interested in real estate, and I figured around that time the market was down, so I figured I would do something in that area until the market went right back up. And there was an instructor who told me that very nicely. He told me that this might not be the field for me. It wasn't because I was failing; it was because everything I did, like I added extra to it. So then I ended up exploring business. I wanted to own my own business, and I looked at going into business administrations, and then I started that at Wake Tech. Then I got married, and my wife was in the Navy, and she got stationed in Camp Lejeune, and then Camp Lejeune didn't have the construction management program down there, so I went for business administrations. As I'm going in there, I started taking like financial courses like accounting, and then I started to take a liking to it. So then by the time my wife got out and we moved back up, I figured I would switch to accounting, and ever since then, like it's been interesting to say. It's had my attention as far as like doing accounting stuff, seeing where stuff connects, because if you're 1 cent off in adding something or subtracting something, then that messes up the balance sheet, the profit and loss, like a lot of things. And I just pretty much like the attention to detail with that.
Okay. And talking about construction, Eduardo, your brother, I think, owns a kind of construction.
My brother's father owns a painting company.
Okay. And tell me how that is. When people own businesses, they have a lot of issues, don't they?
Yeah, they typically they have issues with the customers or the employees, or just timing with other what's it called, contractors. You know, sometimes they say we'll have the carpenters in today, tomorrow you guys can come in. Turns out they didn't finish, now they're backtracked, and it just puts everything else unorganized. But they do a good job, and I'm working with them again now, and it's fun sometimes.
Okay. And for the online audience, please feel free to ask any questions to these students. Now, you've done a lot of work. You might be young, but you've got great work experience.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
us about the importance of customer service.
So currently I'm in a sales company.
Mhm.
Pretty much sales spectrum at big retail companies like Walmart, Best Buy, and Target. And there is pretty much where I believe my customer service has perfected itself. Mostly because you're dealing with 200 plus customers daily, walking in and out of stores, pretty much not giving mind or not actually wanting any of your services. But you pretty much deal with the good, deal with the bad, and see what comes out with it.
Okay. So now we're going to go to Eduardo again, because you come all the way to Raleigh, to the Northern Wake campus from Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And your major now is based at RTP campus, so you probably will be taking some classes there.
Mm-hmm.
You must be very dedicated to come all the way from Chapel Hill to Raleigh.
Yes, I am. I started taking my education serious right out of high school. I did go to college. I was at Central Carolina Community College, and I just didn't feel like it was working at the time. You know,
Okay.
there wasn't really a motive for me to go. I just knew education was important, but I didn't find that why. Why is it important to me? So eventually I decided to just join the military. That was my plan B, and went to the Marines for basic training for 4 months. I was injured during my time there, and they sent me back home, and then I started working with my brother for almost a year, and then that's when I decided this lifestyle isn't what I want. I kind of want more, and I decided to go back to school. And I realized working during those 2 years that I wasn't in school, it was realized education really is something that I wanted, and I figured out that it's something I really need to do. Figured out the importance of it.
Good. Well, I'm glad you chose Wake Tech, and you're in a great major, high demand major. And Dr. Stephen Kirk, your department head, you got to go and meet with him and talk to him. I think that he can kind of push you into some internships. And one thing I like about the Associate of Applied Science degrees is they get you immediately into the job market, and not just any old job, but really nice paying jobs.
Yeah.
Now we're going to flip back to the 4-year man, and I've done a recommendation for you at least. So you were looking at different schools, but you looked at UNC Asheville. What was it about that school that was interesting to you?
Mostly the availability they have for applying research.
Okay.
As a computer science major, part of my career is being out, pretty much being creative and
Okay.
using your creativity for, I guess, the computer science field. And I believe at Asheville with the accessibility they have to read for research, they'll really be able to take my career to the next level.
And I didn't let you know, audience, that these are all kind of athletic people too. So you do a lot of track. Is that your favorite sport, or do you do other sports?
So for favorite sport, I guess track would be my go-to. I also did a lot of football and baseball in high school.
Okay.
But overall, my favorite sport was track. And even to today, I'm a marathon runner. So that's pretty much what I'm doing on my free time.
Okay. Now, of course, we know that you're going to be a different sport, but I know that you participate a lot and you stay in shape. So tell us what it is you do.
I play a lot of soccer. That's my go-to sport. I usually do indoor soccer in the winter, soccer on the field during the summertime, or just kick the ball around with some friends whenever we have time.
Okay. And Alphonzo, we don't know about your sports, but I do know that you have a little child that takes a lot of energy in running around the house. How's that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's definitely energetic. She's fun to chase around. But I also try to play sports. I'll play basketball every now and then.
Okay.
And at my current job, they have a couple of golf tournaments.
Oh.
I do participate in those, but I am. Have you ever seen Charles Barkley swing?
Golf?
Yeah. Yeah, when you get a chance, look up how Charles Barkley swings a golf club.
Okay.
I don't have this swing, but I definitely have like the distance of the ball. Like the ball will maybe go 5 feet off the ground, and it's supposed to be like maybe 50.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm definitely working at it, going to driving ranges. But it's definitely a fun sport.
And golf is one of those networking places where you're going to meet a lot of people.
It is.
So we're going to talk a little bit about networking and what kinds of things do you want to do in terms of networking. I think all of you, certainly by showing up for the show, you get to meet with the professionals that are interviewed, and you get to meet with other faculty and staff. Do you perceive, tell us what you think about networking and how important that will be towards your advancement. I'm starting with you, Alphonzo.
Okay.
Mhm.
I believe networking is vital in life or business, because it's not, I don't believe it's who you know, it's what they can do for you and what you can do for them. Definitely a two-way street, but just because you know somebody like big, like it doesn't mean they can help you out much. Like, for example, let's say I know a basketball player. Like, I think, like an NBA player. Like, I feel the most they would do, I can get from that is maybe like my face out with their social media or magazines or something like that. But as far as like helping me grow as a businessman, like I'm not sure how much value they could bring to that. Definitely not saying like take advantage of it or anything. I'm just, I feel the more I give, the same amount I can get back when it comes to networking.
Okay.
So.
And then we're going to skip over here because you weren't expecting that. Go ahead.
So for networking, working as a sales company, working in the field, talking to countless people, networking pretty much got kind of perfected throughout, I guess, my experience in the sales company, not only in this job, but in previous jobs as well. Since this is a job that it requires talking to people, and not everybody has that gift. Many times I see business people, recruiters, especially in Walmart, give me their cards and or ask me questions to pretty much promote myself or to have them or have myself work with them. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting yourself out there and having your skills perfected.
Okay. And other students are good sources of networking, as well as our faculty and staff. But I'm going to ask you, Eduardo, because you work in customer service as
Yeah.
well as with your brother-in-law. Do you meet people that come in that offer you advice or opportunities, share information, or is that rare?
That's pretty rare. I think I've had that maybe once, and she was pretty rude about it. She was trying to basically tell me how to do my job as a sales associate when I was working with Sherwin-Williams. But yeah, there's rarely the time someone would come and ask me for something like that.
What about your faculty, people that teach your classes? Do they offer any type of insights about networking? Or do they just teach you your academics and then that's it?
For the most part, they just teach me my academics. Yeah.
Okay. So what is something that you would like to see perhaps on the campus? And I know you don't come as much because this is not a 4-year, so we don't have dormitories. What kind of activities would you like to see that would help you in this networking? And I'm gonna start with Alphonzo and give you time to think about it because he's getting ready to graduate, so he probably knows. Go ahead.
Personally, I would say feel like the school may be big enough for it, but I would say intramural leagues, like for different sports, different times of the season. I know for me personally, I would feel like being a part of that would help me stay in shape.
Okay.
It would also help me feel like I belong with that group, whatever team I'm on, especially if I contribute. And I believe that may be the one thing that stands out to me about that.
And I do want to take this opportunity to say Wake Tech does have a center for entrepreneurship. So we want you to take advantage of that. And we have so many opportunities for the students. And though the community is aware, it's also available for our students. We're going to take a break in a minute. And then when we come back, we're going to have Tony Marshall, who is our special guest today, talk about ISG, or Information Solutions Group, and what he does. So, before we take a break, does anybody else want to answer that question? Of what kind of activities would you like to see that we might not be doing?
And now that I think about it, one thing that does stand out to me is I love to dance, and I think like some kind of like dancing club or something would be like salsa, bachata, something like that would probably get people involved.
Okay. And about you?
Being part of various groups in Wake Tech. Previously I was in accounting club, and then being part of Student Government Association.
Okay.
Pretty much opened the doors for for networking. So I believe those two, more groups like those two, will be perfect for Wake Tech.
Okay. So at this time, we can bring our special guest if he doesn't mind. You're going to be sitting where I'm sitting, and I'm going to be exiting stage left for me. If you want to just come right now, or are we able to do a commercial break? Hello, I'm Michael Eure, and I'd like to invite you to watch The Michael Eure Show right here on Eagle Stream. The Michael Eure Show highlights African Americans who are making an impact in the Triangle. From business to technology to art and history, we've got the movers and the shakers of the community. You don't want to miss it. Remember to subscribe to Eagle Stream for all of our upcoming events. Now we're back with Tony Marshall and the student host. So we can start with questions, and we'll start by Tony. Just tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to start with Alphonzo. They have questions. Go ahead.
Good. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you. My name is Tony Marshall. I'm the president and CEO of Innovative Systems Group, we affectionately known as ISG. And we're in the area. We're really excited. We're a 21-year-old IT company, and we provide cybersecurity services.
You received a degree in computer-based information systems from Howard University in Washington, D.C., correct?
That is correct.
And how did you select that major, and how did that academic experience prepare you for the world of technology you entered immediately after graduation?
Fantastic. I started my first career was in radiology. I had a degree an associate's degree in radiology, and the hospital I was working at stood up the first CAT scanner, and I got the computer bug. I fell in love with it. Back in those days, your employer would actually help you go to school, so they wanted me to get a degree in healthcare management. I wanted a degree in computer-based information systems. We always see there's a disconnect between patient care and technology, and I saw my way of the future of kind of helping connect those dots. So that's kind of how I selected the major.
Nice.
Tell us about your experience as an IT manager at Mobil Oil Corporation.
So when I finished Howard, the hospital kind of told me, in the midst of all this confusion, we make a lot of money. So at that time, they weren't interested in all of the great ideas I had in terms of implementing technology. So after interviewing, I ended up taking a job with Mobil Oil. At the time, they were the second largest corporation in the nation, but they had a tremendous number of overseas assignments, and I really wanted to take one of the overseas assignments. So got involved in there doing software development. The fastest path to kind of advance your career so I could take one of those assignments was managing projects. So I assumed the role of going in and fixing troubled IT projects.
How were your various work experiences similar, and what were some of the major differences among the companies and projects?
It's interesting. I've worked for a variety of different organizations, large corporations, small corporations, some that were growing very fast and some that were contracting. All of them have their own unique advantages. One of the tough parts about working in a large company is it's hard to kind of make a name for yourself. I remember I came up with an idea when I was at Mobil that would save $18 million. I was really excited about it, and they gave me an award. They told me it was a great idea. Thanks for thinking like that, but it wasn't enough money for them to pay attention to. So as you can imagine, that kind of made me feel like, wow, what is it that I can do to get anybody to pay attention? Another experience I had was working for Discovery Channel. So they hired me, and they did have a troubled IT project. So they had grown so fast that the data that they were entering in, the revenue data, the fields weren't big enough to hold the amount of money that was coming in. So as you can imagine, that was an interesting project. It was a great place to be, very, very creative. They allowed you to do a lot of things, and it was a good experience. And then in running my own company, it's kind of interesting. When you're running your own company, you have to do everything. So a lot of variety there, but I appreciate all the experiences. Each one of them makes you a little bit better in some way.
And you also taught some project management classes. What was it like sharing your experience with students, and would you consider exploring teaching opportunities today?
I would. I enjoyed the teaching experience. One of the things that was different, I was teaching these classes kind of before we kind of really started to get into the certifications. One of the things that's different is the things that they teach you to get your certification is very, very different than what you have to do to really make a project work. And I always enjoyed the portion of working with projects where you can share with people the things that you really have that have an impact. For example, one of the things that not enough people talk about that is key to any successful project is diversity of thought, and we really don't think about that. When I was at Mobil, one of my bosses came to me and said, "Tony, why is it that your projects are always successful?" I said, "Well, because first of all, you guys let me select the ones I want to move forward with, and if I had the control to pick the team, and I can add the appropriate level of diversity of thought in that team, you need senior level people who have been around a while and understand the portion of the business. You need younger people who really understand technology and think a little quicker. you needed that men and women, after 40 years of marriage, I understand that men and women think differently,
Yeah.
and bringing different thought to a project really adds to it. So if you can add those dynamics to a project, you have a better chance of being successful.
Let's see. Later in your career, you went back to Dartmouth College and UNC for executive training and management training. What were those experiences like, and why did you choose those programs?
Both of those experiences were very good. Both of those experiences I got involved in after starting my business. Many times when you're running a business, you're so close to it, it's hard for you to kind of take a step back and look at the pieces that we're in. My experience with Dartmouth was interesting. You send your financials, your business plan, you explain to them what you do. And they have business executives and professors that pull your business apart and take an intimate look at your business. And what was interesting is that we came to the conclusion that we had the best technology in the industry for an industry that really, really needed what we had. But the problem is that none of the people that we were selling to had the money to pay for what we were developing. So you can have the greatest mousetrap in the world, but if the mouse can't pay for your cheese, it doesn't work. So, but once again, those experiences and your failures really kind of help out because that helped me to understand how do we take the talent that we had in the company and reposition ourselves. So while we were specifically doing custom software development, that enabled us to kind of change directions and focus on security. Where you look at where the world is now, what everybody needs is security.
Right.
The Department of Labor says that by 2020, we're going to have 2 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs. So that's a good spot to be in. We just need to come up with the talent. And I need to try to convince all of you to join us and let's start a career in cybersecurity.
There we
go. How did you get selected as presenter at the National Governors Association?
Well, one of the things, there's a tremendous demand for people in cyber. And one of the things that we've done at ISG that we're very proud of is that we formed one of the first apprenticeship programs in the country, specifically focused in cybersecurity. So while we recognize that there's a certain set of attributes that you need to be good at cybersecurity, we found that in the military community. So our apprenticeship program does a really good job of transitioning folks who from the military into cybersecurity jobs. So I like to tell the story of one of our apprentices, Miguel Ramirez, who was injured, was in the military, had no career in IT, but was in a Humvee that rolled over. So unfortunately, due to his injuries, he had to be medically retired. Miguel had a desire to be in cyber, but had no background. We were able to bring him in. He had all the attributes. He was eager to learn. He was willing to work hard. We brought him into the apprenticeship program, and within about 30 months, he is now a senior IT auditor for Red Hat, doing very well for himself. So we think that speaks to our innate ability to be able to take individuals without a cyber background and advance them in there. The National Governors Association is looking for more corporations to kind of move people into or get involved in work-based learning. Technology has been moving so fast that corporations can't find young people that know 100% of what they need them to. So what we've got to convince organizations to do is find those people that are 80% there, that are eager to learn, and then we train them. Corporations have to train them the last 20%. And apprenticeship does that. So I travel around the country talking to organizations about the advantages of apprenticeship.
And when did you form your own company, and how did you decide to make that transaction?
I've always been an entrepreneur. I bought my first apartment building when I was 20. I always had a desire to kind of go out on my own. Through my transition in managing projects, I was running the East Coast division of a company that was based in Irvine, California. And at the time we were based in the Washington, D.C. area, and we were struggling because we couldn't find enough talent, we couldn't keep them. So we said we had to focus on quality of life. We have to compete in some way. So it's kind of interesting. We ended up looking around for the best place to be. We got to compete on quality of life. I went to a consultant and said, "Where is that?" She said, "It's Raleigh." No need in searching around, it's Raleigh. So we moved that division down to Raleigh. We were trying to, once again, pull more people in, trying to advance and try to get bigger and better and faster. A client said, "Look, we like you guys, we don't like your company." And since I couldn't get my company to kind of turn and move, we decided to separate from the company. Now, that was a blessing and a curse, where we started with several Fortune 100 companies as clients, which was a wonderful thing. We didn't have a sales force, nor did we need one. So while we were building and growing, our customers loved us, but when the market changed, we had to come up and start selling something. It was kind of tough. We didn't know how to do that. But that was in 1998, and that's how we kind of got started.
Do you provide opportunities for current students or graduates to participate in apprenticeships or other programs through SIG?
Oh, yes, we do. we recognize that most of I use the analogy that cybersecurity is very much like being a pilot. If you had a choice between a pilot with a PhD and a pilot with a GED, one with the PhD had no experience, flight experience. The one with the GED had experience. Which plane would you get on?
GED.
GED would look kind of good. Well, that's kind of the way you are in cyber. Everybody wants somebody that has experience. But how do you get it if nobody gives you your first shot? So what we've done in our apprenticeship program is we've developed a simulation where we simulate the work environment. So we put, it's kind of like learning how to drive a car. After you got your learner's permit, your parents didn't hand you the keys. You had to spend some time in the parking lot driving around. That's training. For cyber, you need education, training, and experience to be good. What you get in college and school, that's your education. The training, you need a subject matter expert to kind of put you in the parking lot, let you drive around, make sure you can't kill yourself or anybody else. And then after you get good there, then we put you on the job with a subject matter expert, and we kind of let you kind of drive right seat, left seat until you get the hang of it. That's how you gain your experience, and that's what apprenticeship is all about. It's work-based learning. So what we do is we look for those individuals who are in school, doing well, aggressive, assertive, very interested in the field that they've chosen in cyber, and then we try to take them through the training necessary, give them the experience, and go from there.
Do you currently find yourself involved in mentoring or providing outreach to the community? If so, what are some of the organizations or volunteer programs?
One of the, over the years, I've worked with a lot of organizations, worked with the Haven House in the Raleigh area, worked with the Haven House, and also with the YMCA. I'm also very proud of an association, the Angie Kennedy Educational Foundation, that was formed. It's named after my grandmother, and it started as a family foundation. But over the years, we've given 42 scholarships to deserving young people. Everybody that goes to school is not the straight A student. We're looking for those people that are aggressive and say, "Hey, look, this is my chosen field. The school thinks I can do it. They brought me in, and I want to do it." And we look for those people that are really interested and need money, and we try to raise money for scholarship. I talked about my educational background. In all of the degrees that I've gotten, I was always able to pay for it myself or get my employers to pay for it. The world is different now. Right now, we're looking at our young people. If you add up all of the credit card debt and all of the auto loan debt, it still doesn't add up to the amount of debt that our young people are paying for in school. This is crazy. Our kids have to dig themselves out of a hole so they can pull themselves up by the bootstraps. So some kind of way we have to change that dynamic. So as I said, I'm very proud of what we've done with education, Angie Kennedy Educational Foundation, where we try to put students on an even keel and raise money to help them get their education.
What are some current projects or plans that ISG is working on right now?
Right now, one of the I mentioned the fact that there's a shortage of cybersecurity professionals. So since it's difficult for organizations to have a cybersecurity professional within your walls, what we're doing is we're standing up a security operations center. And what that is that is a separate location, secure location that gives us the opportunity to look into your network and see what's going on. Where's your traffic coming from? Are people doing the right things? And are you safe? In the past, we would go to an organization, we do a vulnerability assessment to see if your software, if your systems were up to snuff. The problem with that is that it shows a spot in time. Are you okay? Through a security operations center, we can visually look at where your networks are, what's going on with them, if there's some traffic that isn't going on there. So now I can have a single professional that can look at multiple companies as opposed to, putting one person out in the facility. So.
From your perspective, what's the best ways for individuals to get into cybersecurity?
Well, I'd say the first thing that you want to do is come to Wake Tech and get your foundational education. What we look for is Security Plus or CCNA Security. Once you have that, that tells us that you have the foundational education that we need. Once you have that, so I mean, once again, using the analogy of a car, it's hard to teach you how to drive if you don't know what a steering wheel is, if you don't know what a stop sign is. So the foundational education you're going to get, and once you have those certifications, we know that you have the foundation. From there, we give you the training that's necessary in a simulated environment, and then we can move you into an apprenticeship. And once again, an apprenticeship is a paid position. So at the time that we engage you with one of our customers, you should be productive, and we're expecting you to do well with that customer. But at the same time, while you're working for that customer, in the evening, we're giving you advanced certifications. We're working you very hard. One of the senior certifications that you get in cybersecurity is the CISSP. Generally, it takes most professionals anywhere from 6 to 9 years to get that. Through our apprenticeship program, you get your associate CISSP in 2. So we're looking for people that are willing to work hard, and if you work hard, you can move up.
What advice would you give an individual interested in starting a business?
I would say be patient. Understand that running a business is it's just a series of problem solving. And you have to approach it with the right attitude. If you wake up and say, "Oh, I hope I don't have any problems today," you're going to have a tough life. Every day there's problems, and every day that you think things are good, what could go wrong? Whenever I've said what could go wrong, I really should go put on a helmet because I'm about to get hit in the head. But it's a series of problem solving. You just have to understand that your job as a business owner is to understand that problems are going to come up, not get upset about it. Your customers are paying you to fix their problems. Fix them, be happy about it, understand what their problems are. Many times they might not understand what their problems are, but it's up to you to look at it, keep them safe.
What are some of the trends you are noticing in the IT field?
The trends that I'm seeing is that technology is really moving very, very, very fast. And one of the trends that we're all going to have to get on is to understand that we are not able to go to the market and find employees that are 100% there. Technology moves so fast that it just doesn't exist. That those individuals that you're looking for aren't going to exist. What you really need to do is to try to find motivated people who want to do the type of work that you have, and then you have to be willing to train and coach those individuals. The other thing that I think that organizations are starting to realize is that there was a time we went through a period where we laid people off. Not going to use you for the next two weeks. I'm going to lay you off. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to hire somebody else. You can't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. What you really need to do is to form a relationship with your employees, train them, appreciate them, and understand that it is a relationship. So it requires give and take, and you're going to have to invest in them and trust the fact that your employees are going to give back. What we found in the apprenticeship model is that when I find people who aspire to be in a cybersecurity professional and we take the time to invest in them, that they show a tremendous amount of loyalty to us. So I think that's a trend that companies are going to come around to because out of necessity.
Share with the audience any other thoughts you have admitted thus far.
I would just say that the wave of the future is apprenticeship, or any type of work-based learning. Unfortunately, we can't educate our population the way that we did it in the past. The problem is that number one, it's too expensive, and people just can't afford it. The other part is that we need people now. Think about what I was saying earlier. There are going to be 2 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs just a year from now. If we took 5 million people and put them in school, they still wouldn't be ready. It is going to require work-based learning. We all learn by doing. You can talk to me about it all day long, but I still don't know how to do it until I do it. So I think that's a trend that people are going to have to, that's one that I hope everybody will take and understand.
Can you give our audience contact information for you?
I'd be more than happy. The easiest way to get in contact with us, and if someone out there is interested in cybersecurity, I'd recommend they go to our website. That's www.isglink.com. Once again, that's www.isglink.com. And on that, we've got videos. You can have an opportunity to listen to information from our apprentices. We've got, if you can submit an application, and we'll take it through the processes, bring you in and talk to you.
Well, we have very much enjoyed you, and we are going to invite you back again for some other activities at Wake Tech. But right now, let's just give our special guest a round of applause.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next month at the Michael Eure Show.
All right.